In this episode of Texpos, we are taking a look at former NFL champion Ben Roethlisberger's podcast on his Channel 7 YouTube channel, and it's called Footballin with Ben Roethlisberger. Now, I will say that this is probably my favorite setup that we have Texposed thus far. The feel of it, the look of it. Let's dive in so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, as we see here, he is in the basement. Now, this is a very well designed basement that has also transformed into a podcast location. Now, there's a couple things here that I would critique in a normal podcast setup, but I think he pulls it off very well because of the studio space itself. Now, the video quality is very nice. When you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the one thing I typically recommend in video, especially anyone that's on camera, is to remove a lot of that head space. So that blank space that is above your head to the top of the frame of the video, in most cases you want to eliminate that. I think in this situation though, having the full view of the basement actually looks really good. Could we tilt the cameras down a little bit or have them down just slightly? Yeah, maybe. But I think overall this looks pretty good because of the whole basement studio that's actually behind him. You see, he has the jerseys back here. He's got the nice wood crossings here, the lights back here. He's got the shoe collection back here. Like, he's got a nice little backlight that's filling that gap back there. It's really well laid out. Probably not intentional to start recording a podcast, but it just works very well in his favor. Now, he's actually sitting at the bar area. So here on the front, we have the bar, and you can actually see here in the front here is the faucet for the sink, which we'll look a little bit further at in another episode of this podcast. So really love the overall design. Now, the quality of the video looks pretty good. Now, it's not 4K, but what I think is happening here is that he's using 4K cameras, but because they're also using a video switcher, a device that allows them to switch between camera angles pretty easily, the video switcher is actually a 1080p video switcher. Now, this is the same one that I have here in my studio as well. So on the desk here, if we take a look and zoom in, this is the A10 Mini Extreme. This is a device that allows you to have up to 8 different inputs into it, and then you can actually view the inputs on a multi-screen view to just check out all the different camera angles. You can send out the feed, a program feed and a preview feed to a different monitor if you wanted to. You can bring your audio into this interface as well. But the video switcher limits the video down to 1080p. So even though you're using a 4K camera, and you want a simple workflow to switch between your 4K cameras, you'll only get 1080p resolution at that end product. So unless you record internally to your cameras, you're not going to get the whole quality that you might have thought you were going to get to initially start with. Now, if we take a look at the back of the video switcher here, we see that we have at least 4 inputs plugged in there. I think maybe even 5. We have an audio source plugged in there as well. And on the back, on the left hand side here, we have a USB adapter that is a hard drive essentially that's plugged in here as well, a USB hard drive. So he is recording those files. Now, the ISO version of this device allows you to record each of those inputs separately, which is really good if you want to repurpose your content. So if you have camera A on Ben and camera B on the guest host there, you can record their whole entire setups individually and then repurpose that for other social media content, not just that final program feed. Because when they switch to the close-up shots and that other person's not on the program, you may want to actually capture that footage still continuously for social media content. This device allows you to do something like that. Now, what I do want you to do is recognize the fact that in the videos that we've Texposed so far, we really haven't seen the person operating the recording or the podcast live stream like in the video itself. Like, they've been behind the scenes essentially, especially with some of the equipment that's been used. In this case, they are live producing the show. The gentleman there on the left hand side, if you watch closely here as I play this around the 9-minute mark here, you'll actually see his hand go to the video switcher. That's because he's controlling which camera is being live at that particular time. So as we get a little bit closer here, he's going to actually live cut to Ben's camera angle, and then he's actually controlling the live input back over to when he's coming on screen for full screen. So we'll see it right here around the 9-minute mark, 9:09 mark. Watch his hand, watch that left hand. It's going to reach over, and then it's going to cut. He's looked at the monitor, boom, and now we got the cut over to Ben, right? So that's the video setup that I believe that they have going on here. Very normal setup, especially if you don't get a chance to see behind the scenes of how a podcast recording is actually created with a multiple camera setup. Again, here, video quality is very clean, very crisp, only in 1080p, but when you have that 4K camera, you're getting a better quality image overall, and that'll make the picture look better. As far as audio, what we got going on here, we have the Shure SMB, so classic microphone here, and we have a nice tabletop boom arm that allows you to easily position that microphone wherever you need it to go. Now, this is an XLR microphone, so there is an audio interface here somewhere. Looking at that video switcher, we did see that the video switcher had an audio input as well, so definitely assume that they're using all of this going into that one video switcher and then producing everything from that one particular video switcher, which makes it a nice, easy workflow. So really nice microphone here, and then obviously our guest host is using the same microphone here, maybe using a different boom arm because this is a little bit longer, could be the same boom arm. But as we go a little bit further here, we see an actual third guest come in. So they actually have food being delivered to them. Let's go right about here. Now you see the chef, he actually brings and sets up the microphone right there. Again, he's using a Shure microphone as well. So they're going 3 SM7Bs here, and he has that more traditional solo standing microphone setup. So you have 3 XLR microphones now running into an audio interface. And typically what I've seen, the audio interface may be that Rodecaster Pro, because it can hold up to 4 inputs. So if they're already using 3, then I could definitely see them using a device like that. And we'll talk more a little bit about that in the next clip here. Overall, really good lighting here, which we haven't addressed, but outside of just the basics of the basement itself, but lighting back here, really just good lighting. I don't think it's intentional for a podcast setup, but it's just the basement setting looks really nice for his particular show here. Now, let's jump over to this other clip I grabbed here. Now, this is him having another guest on, and you may be familiar with this guest as well, which is Pat McAfee, who we are definitely going to expose in his studio because he uses a lot of PTZ cameras, and I'm a huge fan of PTZ cameras. Now, in this setup, Ben is in his typical position here, slid over just a little bit, again using the same microphone boom arm combination, and over here Pat McAfee using the same microphone boom arm combination. I'm a huge fan of using like the devices that are the same. It just looks better on camera when you have the same microphone, the same boom arm. Like there's some congruency with it, right? So and the fact that the quality is good. You're using a Shure product. They've been around for 100 years as of today. In this particular angle, we see a little bit more here in the background. We see a little bit more of the other jerseys back here, a lot of Steeler jerseys back there. In the center of the frame here now, the way this is framed, you have the table with the gift basket on there. Now, we've talked about it in some other videos using those rule of thirds. This is using the rule of thirds. We split this screen into 3 equal sections. They're lined up pretty good. So the symmetry is there, and it looks really good. And then also if we go horizontally right at 50-50, their heads are right at 50-50. So there is symmetry in this. Leading lines, so anything that has straight lines, you have the columns here. You bring attention to the subject when you're using leading lines. A lot of leading lines here. The whole studio is like leading lines back here. So overall, if you have a basement that looks like this, you got some really good ideas to work with. Now, as we go into their close-up shots, we have the solo close-up shots on. And a lot of times when you're trying to set up a multi-camera setup, you may have one position angle look good, but the other ones don't. This is not that. This background here on this shot looks like it could be the main shot of the show if you wanted to. I mean, it looks really, really good. Outside of Pat wearing a shirt that just happens to so match, the whole background being brown here, and you got browns and whites and browns and tans. Like, it's a lot of the color that's all the same. If he had on like just a black shirt or another color shirt that wasn't this one, this shot would look really, really good. It still looks good, but he just kind of blends in. Just so happened, I'm sure he didn't have any intention of wearing that shirt to blend in, but I like this shot right here, even as a main shot. So having a basement studio like this is like really nice. We switch over here to Ben's solo shot again. This could work as a main solo shot. Everything in the background looks good. Lit well on the backside here. You see the gaming table back here. It's that basement vibe. Guys just hanging out, talking about football. They've got food, they got drinks. Again, here's the bar. A little bit more visual of that faucet right there I mentioned earlier. But you can see it's like sitting at the bar in the basement, just having a conversation and just having the microphones on here. It doesn't look staged, but yet it's well designed for a podcast studio. Look at that nice big couch back here. So much going on here. This is one of those setups I would love to like go and visit or be invited to, whichever one, and really just sit down there and see even the more complete what's going on the other side of the camera. So my favorite podcast setup so far on this channel is this one right here. I'm going to link to the tech, the gear, some of the accessories that I find in this particular setup. Links will be in the description if you want to check them out for yourself. Links to these episodes will be there as well. Really great job by Ben Roethlisberger and the entire team that produces this show. If you are not subscribed to this channel and you want to see more episodes like this and get some creative ideas, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.